very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha Television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor, and in the next half an hour I'll be getting you the biggest news stories that have happened in India and across the world in the last 24 hours, and also what else to expect in the day. Let's take a look at the headlines first. Prime Minister vows to carry forward a war against corruption, says law to deal with benami properties to be implemented strongly soon. Finance Minister says government not looking to impose long-term capital gains tax on securities market, says media reports misinterpreted the Prime Minister. "21 people injured in stampede at Kerala Hill Shrine of Sabarimala, 2 injured seriously, restrictions imposed on pilgrim movement." National mourning in Russia after military plane crashes in Black Sea. Search operations continue as investigations begin. 92 people on board, no survivors so far. And Israel summons ambassadors of 10 nations that voted against it in the anti-settlement resolution at the United Nations, tells America friends do not take friends to Security Council. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has vowed to carry forward the war against corruption and black money post-demonetization. Well, in his last monthly address in Mann Ki Baat this year, the Prime Minister said that the government will soon operationalize a strong law to effectively deal with benami properties. He said his government has revived the benami property legislation, giving it more teeth to deal with the menace. He said that the law, which was kept on back burners since 1988, will be implemented strongly in the coming days.
बड़ा धारदार बेनामी संपत्ति का कानून हमने बनाया है। आने वाले दिनों में वो कानून भी अपना काम करेगा। देश हित के लिए, जनहित के लिए जो भी करना पड़े, ये हमारी प्राथमिकता है।
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has also defended the frequent changes in demonetization rules in his latest radio address, Mann Ki Baat. Now, Modi said that the changes have been done to reduce people's problems, and people who cannot endorse corruption and black money openly are relentlessly finding faults with his government. The Prime Minister also criticized the opposition for stalling Parliament on this issue.
हर पल सरकार एक संवेदनशील सरकार होने के कारण जनता जनार्दन की सुख सुविधा को ध्यान में रखते हुए जितने भी नियम बदलने पड़ते हैं बदलती है, ताकि लोगों की परेशानी कम हो।
And the Prime Minister also announced 2 schemes, Lucky Grahak Yojana and Digi Dhan Vyapar Yojana for consumers and traders alike to promote mobile banking and e-payments.
15,000 लोगों को ड्रॉ सिस्टम से इनाम मिलेगा और 15,000 के हरेक के खाते में 1,000 रुपये का इनाम जाएगा। और ये सिर्फ आज एक दिन के लिए नहीं है, ये योजना आज से शुरू होकर के 100 दिन तक चलने वाली है। हर दिन 15,000 लोगों को 1,000 रुपये का इनाम मिलने वाला है। 100 दिन में लाखों परिवारों तक करोड़ों रुपयों की सौगात पहुंचने वाली है। लेकिन ये इनाम के हकदार आप तब बनेंगे जब आप मोबाइल बैंकिंग, ई बैंकिंग, रुपे कार्ड, यूपीआई, यूएसएसडी, ये जितने डिजिटल भुगतान के तरीके हैं उनका उपयोग करोगे, उसी के आधार पर ड्रॉ निकलेगा।
On to the other top story now. Well, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has refuted media reports that the government could be looking to impose a long-term capital gains tax on the securities market in the upcoming budget in February. Now, Jaitley's remarks came after Prime Minister Narendra Modi last week said that those who profit from financial markets must make a fair contribution to nation building through taxes. Here are all the details.
Trying to calm frayed nerves, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Sunday went to great lengths clarifying that it is not the intention of the government to impose tax on long-term capital gains from share transactions. Referring to the speech made by Prime Minister Modi in Mumbai, Jaitley said the interpretation being given to the speech is not correct.
The speech has been misinterpreted in some sections of the media, which have started speculating that this is an indirect reference to the fact that there could be long-term capital gains on security transactions.
Jaitley further said that the Prime Minister had made no such statement directly or indirectly.
This interpretation is absolutely erroneous. The Prime Minister has made no such statement directly or indirectly. I was present at the function at which this speech was given, and therefore I wish to absolutely clarify that there is no occasion or opportunity for anybody to reach such a conclusion, because this is not what the Prime Minister said, nor is it the intention of the government, as has been reported in a section of the media itself.
Presently, there is no tax on long-term capital gains on a stock traded on an exchange. However, if a stock is traded or exchanged within a year, a 15% tax is enforced. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Big story coming in from Kerala, where at least 21 pilgrims to Sabarimala were injured in a stampede at a temple on Sunday night. Now, 2 of the pilgrims are reported to be seriously injured when a rope barricade snapped and pilgrims who were leaning on it fell on each other. Well, the injured have been rushed to Kottayam Medical College, and police has restricted the movement of pilgrims at the temple. The 2 grievously injured pilgrims have suffered head and rib injuries. There was a heavy rush of pilgrims on Sunday, the penultimate day before the culmination of 41-day Mandala Puja. The mishap occurred just as the holy Thanga Angi procession carrying the ornaments that is to be adorned on Lord Ayappa on Mandala Puja today had reached that temple. Let's get you the weather update now. Well, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand witnessed a white Christmas on Sunday as they received the season's first snowfall, which coupled with rain has pulled down the mercury in the northern region. In Himachal Pradesh, Shimla and its surrounding areas received slight traces of snowfall, with the showers lashing the region, while the adjoining tourist resort of Kufri, Fagu and Narkanda got some snow as well. Now, Kalpa in Kainur district received 7 centimeters of snowfall, while Kufri and Narkanda got 2 centimeters and 5 centimeters of snow. Now, this is the first time after 25 years that Himachal Pradesh received snowfall on Christmas Day. Meanwhile, Uttarakhand also received the season's first snowfall, while the lower areas have been lashed by moderate showers, causing a sharp dip in temperature across the state. Now, places located above 3,000 meters in the states, that is Chamoli, Rudraprayag and Uttarkashi districts, including the 4 Himalayan shrines of Badrinath and Kedarnath, have also received snowfall, even as the plains including Haridwar, Udham Singh Nagar and adjoining areas were swept by icy winds and light drizzle.
आज में जैसे आप भी देख सकते हैं हल्की हल्की धुआंधार रेंज में स्नोफॉल हो रही है। जैसे कि संडे है और हम लेट ही उठते हैं संडे को, उस हिसाब से ऐसे जैसे हम सुबह उठे तो हल्की हल्की बारिश हो रही थी, जिससे खुश मौसम था पहले। अब तो काफ़ी देखने को मिल रहा है कि काफ़ी अच्छा मौसम हो गया। अगर ये बारिश होती रही और मौसम ऐसा बना रहा तो स्नोफॉल नीचे भी हो सकती है, पहाड़ों पे भी आ सकती है। हमारे वैसे धुआंधार रेंज पे तो स्नोफॉल हो ही रही है।
और सामने मतलब इस सीज़न का ये पहला स्नोफॉल है, और सामने मतलब पहाड़ियाँ, आज मतलब पहाड़ियों में काफ़ी टूरिस्ट का मतलब होगा। और जैसे कि आज क्रिसमस का दिन है, तो क्रिसमस के दिन ही आज स्नोफॉल बहुत बड़ी बात है, और इससे जो हमारे पानी की शॉर्टेज थी वो भी पूरी हो जाएगी। और आज जैसे लोग बोल रहे थे कि सूखी ठंड है, तो आज बारिश की वजह से उन्हें भी काफ़ी आनंद मिलेगा कि आज बारिश हुई है तो ठंड भी इतनी नहीं लगेगी। और बाकी रहा स्नोफॉल, तो शायद कुछ टूरिस्ट ऊपर जाके स्नोफॉल भी खेल सकते हैं।
And Pakistan has released 220 Indian fishermen as a goodwill gesture on Sunday. Well, the gesture comes amid a strain in relations between the two nations. The 220 fishermen released from Mali jail in Karachi were arrested for allegedly entering Pakistan's territorial waters illegally and fishing there. Well, last week, the Pakistani Fishermen Forum claimed that Indian maritime authorities had picked up dozens of Pakistani fishermen from inside Pakistan's territorial waters near the Gujarat coastline and taken them away, though the government has not so far responded to these claims.
हमारे पास टोटल 518 इंडियन फिशरमैन हैं, उसमें से 220 इंडियन फिशरमैन आज रिलीज़ हो रहे हैं जज्बा खैर सगाली के तहत पाकिस्तान और की गवर्नमेंट की जानिब से, और 219 इंडियन फिशरमैन दूसरे फेज़ में 5 तारीख को 5 जनवरी 2017 को यहाँ से रिलीज़ किए जाएंगे।
मैं 14 महीने तक यहाँ रहा, 14 महीने के बाद मैं इधर से जा रहा हूँ। मुझे बहुत खुशी है, मैं अपने घर जाऊँगा, अपने मम्मी पापा भाई बहन बीवी बच्चे सबसे मिलूंगा जाके। हम अपनी गवर्नमेंट को भी बोले कि यहाँ से जाके कि उधर भी हमें जो रखा गया बहुत मान सम्मान मिला, मेहमानों की तरह हमारा ख्याल किया गया है, खाना पीना भी सही दिया था, अच्छा ख्याल करते हैं हम लोगों का, हम पर कोई जुल्म नहीं होता। आप भी हमारी तरह जो हमें रखते हैं उसी तरह उन लोगों को भी कोई जुल्म ना करो और उन्हें भी जल्दी रिहा करो।
And a news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where one person was shot dead by suspected militants in North Kashmir's Sabarimala district. Now, according to the police, Nasir Ahmed Amir was shot at by suspected militants near his residence in Brahmapura in Dagachiwa area of the district. Amir was rushed to a hospital where he was declared broad dead. A case has been registered and a hunt is on to nab the assailants. In Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We have more news on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. You're watching Constitutionally Yours.
I will use the shield of faith to promote cow slaughter.
The states have continuously failed to implement the ban on cow slaughter.
Other section of the society, they are beef eaters.
How are we the biggest exporter in beef?
India is the largest country in export of beef.
Join us as we try to understand contemporary issues related to the Constitution. Watch Constitutionally Yours on Rajya Sabha Television. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, affectionately known as Madiba, was South Africa's first democratically elected president, an international peacemaker and statesman, and a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Through a long career as an activist, Mandela was a crusader for equal rights for South Africa's black majority. Having undergone frequent imprisonment, in 1964, Mandela was sentenced to life in jail. Charged with sabotage, treason, and violent conspiracy, he narrowly escaped the gallows. He was released in 1990, having initiated talks with South African President de Klerk towards ending apartheid in the country. Mandela was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1993 for his efforts. In April 1994, the Mandela-led African National Congress won South Africa's first elections by universal suffrage. And Mandela was sworn in as president of the country's first multi-ethnic government. He retired from the presidency in 1999 and from public life in 2004. Nelson Mandela died on December 5, 2013 from a recurring lung infection.
Welcome back after the break. Now, India will test indigenously developed a surface-to-surface nuclear-capable ballistic missile Agni-5 from the Wheeler Island of Odisha coast today. With the launch weight of around 50 tons, the 17-meter-long, 2 meters wide Agni-5 is capable of striking a target more than 5,000 kilometers and can carry a nuclear warhead of more than 1 tons. Well, the latest Agni-5 is the most advanced missile after having incorporated new technologies for navigation and guidance, warhead and engine. It will be the fourth developmental trial of the long-range missile since April 2012. And what else to look forward to in the day? Let's take a look at the day ahead. The Patiala House Court is to take up hearing today on the bail plea of former Air Chief SP Tyagi, who has been under arrest since 9th of December in the 3,600 crore rupees Augusta Westland chopper scam. Earlier, the court had postponed hearing on the bail plea as the CBI told the court it needed time to present the case, as it had to obtain a large volume of information to interrogate Tyagi and the 2 other accused in the case. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Harish Rawat will appear before the CBI in connection with a probe into the purported sting operation involving him in horse trading. This is the second time that Rawat has been summoned by the CBI in the last 7 months. He had earlier appeared before the agency on 24th of May and was questioned for nearly 5 hours. The Patiala House Court is likely to pronounce its verdict today on the National Herald case accusing the Congress chief Sonia Gandhi, Vice President Rahul Gandhi and the other senior party leaders of conspiring to cheat in a land deal. Well, the plea was filed by BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy. Earlier on 9th of December, the court had reserved its order on seeking documents and ledger books from the Congress party and the Associated Journals Limited. Well, we'll take another very short break. Up next, we have all the international and sports news. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Safdarjung's tomb, known as the last flicker in the lamp of Mughal architecture. This was the last monumental tomb garden of the once mighty Mughals. The sandstone and marble mausoleum was built in 1754 for Mughal statesman Safdarjung, the Nawab of Awadh and the Prime Minister of the Mughal Empire when Ahmad Shah Bahadur ascended the throne in 1748. It was planned and built like an enclosed garden tomb in line with the style of the Humayun's tomb. It is also said stone slabs from the grave of Abdul Rahim Khan-e-Khana at Nizamuddin were stolen to build this monument. The architecture has a clear Awadhi, Rajasthani and Bengali influence.
Welcome back. A time now for all the international news, where a major 7.6 magnitude earthquake jolted southern Chile on Sunday, prompting thousands to evacuate the coastal areas. Now, the quake, which had a depth of about 34 kilometers, hit an area of Chile known for tourism. No casualties were reported. Now, some roads and bridges were affected, but the damage appeared to be limited. Now, Chile's National Emergency Services lifted both the evacuations orders as well as a tsunami alert 3 hours after the Christmas Day quake struck. Nearly 5,000 people who had evacuated their homes were told it was safe to return to their homes. Well, the quake was felt on the other side of the Andes Mountains in Argentina as well, but the structural damage in areas close to the epicenter was limited.
El último reporte del CHOA indica que se cancela el estado de precaución para todo el país, por lo que tanto las personas pueden volver a sus hogares de manera tranquila y ordenada.
Muy fuerte. Estaba en mi casa con mi niñita y pensé que se iba acá a mi casa, así que salimos afuera donde no hay peligro, había una pampita, así que ahí nos quedamos.
And the Russian ministry has said that no survivors have been found after the Syria-bound military plane crashed into the Black Sea. Now, there were 92 passengers on board, including Red Army Corps members traveling to celebrate New Year with troops. A huge search operation continues with more than 3,000 people, including 109 divers, involved in the operation near Sochi. Well, the Tu-154 plane, which had been carrying 84 passengers and 8 crew members, crashed in the Black Sea shortly after taking off from the southern city of Adel, where it had been refueling. At least 60 people were the members of the Red Army Corps who were being flown out to an air base in Syria to entertain troops in the run-up to the new year. Now, 9 Russian reporters had also been on board, as well as some military servicemen. 10 bodies have been recovered at the crash site so far, with the rest of the passengers also feared dead. Now, Monday has been declared as a day of national mourning across Russia. Russia has begun investigations into the cause of the crash. Now, India also expressed condolences over the incident. Prime Minister Narendra Modi mourning the tragic loss of lives. Now, Sochi residents brought flowers and candles to the seafront in the city centre to honour the victims of the plane crash.
Прежде всего хочу выразить самые искренние соболезнования семьям наших граждан, погибших в результате авиационной катастрофы над Черным морем сегодня утром.
Была развернута поисковая спасательная операция. К сожалению, на настоящий момент никого из выживших обнаружить не удалось, и я от имени лица правительственной комиссии приношу самые искренние соболезнования всем родственникам и близким.
And Israel summoned ambassadors of 10 nations to Jerusalem to reprimand them over the United Nations vote last week on an anti-settlement resolution. Well, the resolution passed following the U.S. decision to abstain from voting. Now, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had harsh words for the Obama administration over the UNSC vote that demanded an end to settlement building. The resolution marked a new low with the Obama administration. Now, Tel Aviv has accused Obama of colluding with the Palestinians against the Jewish state. Ambassadors from 10 of the 14 nations that voted in favor of the resolution and have embassies in Israel include Britain, China, Russia, France, Egypt, Japan, Uruguay, Spain, Ukraine and New Zealand. Now, much of the international community considers the settlements illegal or illegitimate and an obstacle to peace. Israel disagrees, cites biblical and historical connections to the West Bank and Jerusalem, as well as security interests.
Over decades, American administrations and Israeli governments have disagreed about settlements, but we agreed that the Security Council was not the place to resolve this issue. We knew that going there would make negotiations harder and drive peace further away. And as I told John Kerry on Thursday, friends don't take friends to the Security Council. I'm encouraged by the statements of our friends in the United States, Republicans and Democrats alike. They understand how reckless and destructive this UN resolution was. They understand that the Western Wall isn't occupied territory. I look forward to working with those friends and with the new administration when it takes office next month.
And what else is happening across the world? Let's take a look at in the world wrap. At least 2 people were killed and 15 others injured in a strong explosion in Al-Sukari district of Aleppo. The blast occurred when civilians returned to inspect their old residences, which had previously abandoned in order to flee the rebel-controlled bombing area. The loud explosion shook the area and shots were heard following the blast. Aleppo was recovered by government forces on Thursday after ousting rebel forces and evacuating civilians remaining in the besieged neighborhoods in the eastern half of the city. Pope Francis on Sunday urged people to remember migrants, refugees and those hit by economic instability. Francis also marked the 4th Christmas season since his election in 2013 and made a mention of Palestinians and Israelis facing renewed tension after a United Nations resolution condemning Israeli settlements on the occupied land. He asked them to have the courage to put aside hate and revenge and write a new page of history. And singer George Michael passed away on Sunday at the age of 53. The star, who launched his career with the Wham in the 1980s and continued his success as a solo performer, is said to have passed away peacefully at his home in Oxfordshire. The police say that they are treating the death as unexplained, but there were no suspicious circumstances. Celebrities across the world expressed shock and sadness at the news of his death. Well, that's all in this edition of news, but news and updates continue on your channel. Thanks for watching.